Good day, everybody. This is Yin Yang in California with Morsels of a Thought number 1848. I have come this many consecutive days, currently at 5:10 in the morning, slightly late today, but about this time every day for Morsels of a Thought of Wisdom. Wisdom is knowing the right things to do for yourself and for everybody else, bringing value to the world and doing the thing you know is the right thing to do is called virtue. So we're bringing virtue into the world with morsels of thought of wisdom. Okay, now we're reading Brain Rescue today because we're gaining some wisdom on what happens, what to do when you have conked yourself in the head and really hurt yourself. And this is called Brain Rescue, a 90-day blueprint to reclaim your memory after a brain injury or concussion. And this is by Dr. Brody Miller, Ph.D., also known as Dr. Bro, Dr. Bro on Instagram. Look for him there. And what have I marked here? Well, that's wrong. Oh, there. Oh, okay. I'm already. I can't see very well because I made my contact lenses wrong. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, but we're going to change that. The fifth step is C for consistency. Eileen Wilder says, procrastination is the assassination of your destination. Consistency, consistency, consistency. Dr. Brody is saying this. Let me say it one more time. Let me say it one more time because it's the backbone of everything. Consistency. Let me make this crystal clear. If you want to truly get your life back to remember names, stay sharp in conversations, and feel clear-headed again, consistency is the key to unlocking those outcomes. Consistency is how you take procrastination by the neck and knock it out cold like a Mike Tyson super punch. Ultimately, in recovery, you're not just working to repair your brain, you're rebuilding your freedom and future. If you want your brain to function like it's supposed to, you need to make consistency your new religion. It's not negotiable. You don't just wake up one day and have everything fixed after a brain injury. You've had a brain injury. And that means part of your brain, especially the areas responsible for memory, have been damaged. But here's the good news, your brain can rebuild itself. Your brain can rebuild itself. Here's the good news. And I rushed into it. Your brain can rebuild itself. That's called neuroplasticity. And the secret to unlocking it, you guessed it, consistency. Do you want your brain to heal? Then you better show up for it every damn day. This is Dr. Brody speaking. Look at your brain injury, he says, like a damaged house after it got hit by a hurricane. You don't fix it by throwing down a little patchwork here and there or working on a bit of it once a week. No, you rebuild that house brick by brick, layer by layer, day in and day out. Think of every consistent day as adding another brick to the foundation of your recovery. Some days you lay a single brick, other days you might finish a whole wall, but every single day of work counts to rebuild your brain to become stronger and more resilient than before. That's how you heal your brain after an injury. The answer is right there, and the rest of the book tells you how to do it. Consistent effort rewrites your neural pathways, making your memory stronger, deeper, sharper, and more resilient. Get obsessed with consistency. Hold on a second. Let me take a drink of water. And that way I won't get into a coughing fit like I did one time. Consistent effort rewires your neural pathways, making your memory stronger, sharper, and more resilient. Get obsessed with consistency. Consistency is perhaps the most important concept in this entire book that you need to embody. It is one of the most immovable forces in the entire universe. Everyone is consistent in some ways, believe it or not. Most people are great complainers, blamers, shamers, and finger pointers. Don't be like some people. Your brain craves routine for its memory. When you put in the work day after day, your brain starts adapting. You're training it to rebuild itself. You want a better memory? You want to eliminate brain fog? Consistency is how you do it. Look how the sun consistently day after day comes up and keeps burning. Look at nature. The sun doesn't just rise every other day, does it? It shows up every single day without fail, burning with the same intensity, whether anyone's watching or not. That's what you need to be: unstoppable, immovable, like gravity itself. Consistency is the most powerful force in the universe, and when you harness it, nothing can stop you. There are two important steps in this process. The first requirement: you must believe in the power of consistency. The second requirement: you must be consistent by consistently taking action. Let's make this very, very clear. If you don't believe in the power of consistency and you're not consistent, you will feel down and your memory will never be as sharp as it could be. If you don't believe in the power of consistency but aren't consistent, you'll end up frustrated and disappointed in your results. Because you're not believing in them, huh? I just go. If you believe in the power of consistency but aren't consistent, your memory will stay weak and you'll feel like you're always falling short. Finally, if you believe in the power of consistency and you stay consistent, your memory will become razor sharp and you'll feel more confident and capable every day. Every day. Action step: start small. I'm not asking you to spend hours. Not ask, Start small. I'm not asking you to spend 10 hours every day working on your recovery. That's not realistic. But what is realistic and incredibly effective is just 5 measly minutes a day. If you dedicate just 5 minutes a day to specific memory exercises or any recovery activity, you will see the results. Let's do the math together. 5 times 365 equals 1,825 minutes. Divide that by 60 for the number of minutes in an hour. That adds up to over 30 hours in a year. That's more than an entire day's worth of focused work on your brain. Consistency, consistency, consistency. Isn't that great? 5 measly minutes a day, he says. Where's my timer? Okay. Oh, I need to explain that what I'm doing. We are going into 1848 morsels of a thought, and knowing the right things to do is a form of wisdom. Doing the right things is virtue. We are reading Brain Rescue by Brody Miller, Ph.D., a 90-day blueprint to reclaim your memory after a brain injury or concussion. You see, I'm remembering the title without looking at anything. Anyway, but I can look at anything for other things, but not for the titles usually. And okay, action steps. Start small. Okay. All right. The sixth step is U for understand. Chapter 4, the first pillar, R is for REFOCUS. The sixth step is U for understand. Understand that there is a universe within you. There is a universe within you. There is. There really is. All your cells, all your atoms, all your molecules, all your electrons that make you up as a solid person, that's you, as well as all the energy field around you. That's what I say. Okay. Ask Yin Yang about energy fields. Well, I didn't do too well in physics, but I did take it 4 times. Anyway, understanding the fundamental workings of the brain, like how it functions and how it adapts, is arguably the most crucial element of your early recovery journey. When you understand the what and why of any subject, the how becomes much easier. The principle is especially important to the realm of brain health. My primary goal with the patients I work with is to equip them with a foundational understanding of how the brain functions and how it doesn't, so they can apply this knowledge to their lives. After all, the word doctor comes from the word from the Latin docere, it's docere, which means to teach. I think it's a first or a second declension verb, not third. Teaching isn't just part of my role. It is the very heart of what it means to be a doctor. With a solid grasp of the basics, you become less vulnerable to the influences of so-called experts who know what's best for you, quote, end quote. We live in a time when knowledge and information are readily accessible to anyone who seeks it. However, acquiring knowledge alone is not enough for true empowerment. Mastering the basics repeatedly is the key to any endeavor. In this chapter, my aim is to provide you with a solid foundation in understanding how the brain works. As we discussed earlier, the brain is the most important organ in the human body. Ever wondered what parts of your brain make you who you are? Let's dive into the key regions that define your thoughts, emotions, and actions. 10 essential brain regions that shape who you are. Just like each part of our body has its own functions, different parts of the brain have their own jobs too. Neuroscientists have made amazing strides in understanding these connections, showing us that damage to a specific brain area can lead to challenges linked to its function. What's astonishing is we learned more about the brain in the last 10 years than the last 10,000. Isn't it fascinating how interconnected our minds and bodies are? To better understand these crucial regions, let's explore the functions and potential impacts of damage to each one, beginning with the frontal lobe. The frontal lobe, located at the front of the brain. The frontal lobe is responsible for decision making, problem solving, emotional regulation, personality, attention, planning, speech, movement, impulse control, short term memory, thinking in terms of past and future, and more. Damage to the frontal lobe can lead to issues with impulsiveness, planning, mood swings, concentration, memory issues, and more. The parietal lobe, located at the upper back of your brain, behind the top of your head. The parietal lobe is responsible for the perception of pain, touch, temperature, spatial awareness, sequencing, and mathematics. Damage can result in difficulties with sensory perception, coordination, and navigating environments. It can result in a condition known as neglect, where you can become unaware of one side of their body or their surroundings. Hmm. The temporal lobe, located next to the ears, the temporal lobe is responsible for hearing. That's a that's a death spot in kung fu, right? I think. Um, like if somebody hits it really hard, I think any part of the brain should be yeah, never mind. The temporal lobe, located next to the ears, is responsible the temporal lobe is responsible for hearing, emotions, auditory processing, comprehension, memory retrieval, auditory formed memories, and general memory. Auditorily formed memories. Damage to the temporal lobe can cause problems with memory formation, language processing, and processing sounds. People may also experience difficulties in recognizing familiar faces or objects, known as prosopagnosia. Prosopagnosia. Whoa, that's awful. Occipital lobe. Located at the back of the brain, the occipital lobe is responsible for the formation of visual memories and visual processing. Damage can lead to issues with visual perception, color recognition, and reading. People may also experience people may experience visual field deficits where they lose sight sorry, people may also experience visual field deficits where they lose sight in certain areas of their visual field, Um, Brainstem. The brainstem, it goes all the way the hell down your back. The brainstem is responsible for controlling vital functions such as heart rate, breathing, and blood pressure. Damage can cause problems with autonomic functions such as irregular heartbeats or breathing patterns, decreased alertness, impaired reflex responses, and can even be life threatening. Cerebellum, located at the back of the brain underneath the occipital lobe, the cerebellum or mini brain is responsible for accuracy, balance, coordination, often referred to as the ABC of motor skills, accuracy, balance, and coordination, and muscle tone regulation. It fine tunes movements and helps maintain posture. So, this could be why, yeah, uh, anyway, damage can result in difficulties with motor control, balance, coordination, and fine motor skills. People may experience tremors, dizziness, and challenges with tasks requiring precise movements. Ooh, that would explain why I have trouble when I see. Look at this tremor. Can you see it? Ah, showing people my tremor. Damn it. Sorry. That shows a little bit of damage in this brain. Hey, yeah, yeah. But we go on. Hippocampus, located within the temporal lobe. The hippocampus is responsible for memory function. Oh, wait, let me explain to you again. Brain Rescue is by Dr. Brody Miller, Ph.D., a 90-day blueprint to reclaim your memory after a brain injury or concussion. Knowing the right thing to do on my show, Morsels of Thought, is to know the right things to do and do them. So that's wisdom and virtue. It's knowing and action. Yeah. Hippocampus located within the temporal lobe. The hippocampus is responsible for memory formation, particularly in converting short-term memories into long-term ones, as well as spatial navigation. It plays a significant role in learning and contextual memory. Damage can lead to difficulties with long term memory, learning new information, and retrieving past memories. People may suffer from anterograde amnesia, making it hard to form new memories after an injury. The thalamus, located at the top of the brainstem, the thalamus is responsible for filtering brain activity. This includes deleting, distorting, and generalizing information. Often referred to as the thalamic gate, it relays sensory and motor signals to the cerebral cortex. Cerebral cortex. Damage can lead to problems with sensory processing, altered states of consciousness, and sleep regulation issues, potentially resulting in insomnia or hypersomnia. Yeah, I had that too, probably. Amygdala, located deep within the temporal lobes, the amygdala is responsible for emotion regulation, fear processing, and formation of emotional memories. It plays a critical role in assessing threats and triggering appropriate emotional responses. Damage can result in issues with emotional responses, such as difficulty identifying or expressing emotions and changes in social behavior, making it hard to relate to others in social contexts. Okay, here's a picture of the parietal lobe, the occipital lobe, the cerebellum, the brainstem, the temporal lobe, and the parietal lobe, and the frontal lobe. And this is a side view of the brain, where the side is on the edge of the book, where my pinky is pointing. I mean, the front is on the edge of the. Can you see my pinky? There we go. Okay. All right. Just wanted you to see that. And we do pictures of brains in this show. On this show, we also do what to do, and what else do we do? Quite a few things. Wednesdays are the days that I will express my deep opinions to you. Wednesdays, Words and Wisdom Wednesdays. But that's also Mr. Chanos's day. And I sometimes end with mine and sometimes I end with his. He's got different opinions than I have. Uh-huh. Alex Honnold's fearless brain. What makes him different? Alex Honnold, Honnold. Alex Honnold's Fearless Brain. What makes him different? Deep in the towering granite walls of Yosemite National Park, Honnold prepared for the climb that would make him famous. El Capitan without ropes. For most people, even thinking about this would make their amygdala, the part of the brain that controls fear, go into overdrive. Their palms would sweat, their heart would race, and their whole body would feel panicked at the idea of being so high up with no safety ropes. But Alex was different. Neuroscientists studied Alex's brain because they were amazed by how little fear he felt. Scans of his amygdala showed something incredible. It was much quieter than in most people. While other people's amygdalas would react strongly to danger, Alex's stayed calm. This unusual feature of his brain allowed him to stay focused and plan carefully instead of being overwhelmed by fear. Alex Honnold's story shows how different brains can work in very unique ways. While one person might see something as impossible, someone like Alex might see it as a challenge that they can figure out. It's a reminder that differences in our brains don't just shape who we are, but also how we deal with the world around us. Wow. Next time, we will go into understanding your brain, the first step in your journey. This chapter has introduced you to some important areas of the brain, but this is just the beginning. To truly understand what's going on inside your own brain and address the root causes of memory loss or other brain health issues, you'll need to go over this information again and again. Think of it like training a muscle. Each repetition strengthens the neural connections in your brain, making this knowledge stick and helping you apply it to real life. Huh. So you go over the information again and again. Every new bit of information you absorb in your brain about your brain is another step toward recovery. It's a journey that requires patience, repetition, and commitment. But remember, the more you understand your brain, the more control you gain over your over your recovery process. Keep learning, and with time, you'll not only understand your brain better, you'll start to feel stronger, more confident, and more in charge of your healing path. So after this, we'll go into the seventh step, which is S for supplementation in refocus, REFOCUS. Refocus is part of the BRAIN. Where's the, okay, all right. So REBOUND. It's refocus is REFOCUS for the R in REBOUND. That big chart that I gave you. Oh yeah, I can show you that. I can show you that. We have a second to show you that, I think. Let's see. I'll bring it up here. Ugh. Um, I can bring it up here. Let's see. Yep, I got it. Okay. So I don't know if you remember this, but I was showing you something here, and we are in our refocus. So here. Whew. All right. We'll see you next week for this book, and I will place this down somewhere, somehow. This is like a little kid practicing martial arts and saying, well, then you get your arm over there somehow. Yeah. Good day. Okay. Old Kinderhook. Bye bye.